Look at our plants. Welcome back to week number 6 of the Great Garden Challenge, where we are seeing how much dollar value worth of food can we grow in this 15 by 20 foot garden space right behind me here. And you get to guess, and whoever gets the closest is going to win $500 worth of free seeds, a free Birdies Raised Bed, and lifetime access to the Seedtime Garden Planner. And hey, in this week, I'm gonna be sharing with you 5 of the top crops to grow in 30 days or less. And this is part of our strategy in this garden here, because there are gaps and spaces in the season where one crop finishes and there might be a little bit of time before the next crop is ready to go in, or you can companion plant along some of your crops. And so what are some of those crops that you can fill in? And a lot of them, spoiler alert, we're growing in this garden right now. So all of that coming right up. But first, quick recap on last week. If you missed it, I'll post the link down in the description below. And you can go watch how we prepared our garden for some storms that were coming in. We got a lot of things direct seeded in here. And this week you get to see some of those sprouts coming up. Just before we get into it though, another quick little reminder of our fundraiser with Farm Stew, where we are raising funds to lift 100 families out of poverty and into an abundant life. And part of that is teaching and equipping them how to grow their own food and how to even sell that food to the community. So we're partnering with Farm Stew, and if you'd like to check that out, you can give towards that. There's ways to trigger bonanza giveaways, extra cool stuff that we're going to be giving away throughout this series as well. So go catch all the details in the description below. Now let's talk about what happened this week. Well, the truth is, for a lot of this week, I have been gone traveling with my family. We had a family reunion. We just recently got back, and the starts that we left behind, tomatoes and the peppers especially, well, the tomatoes just went completely bonkers. They grew like crazy. So this potting mix that we're growing in, about 2 weeks into these plants growing, they just go crazy. And I think that it has to do with the mycorrhizal fungi. Higher fungi levels in potting mix can make plants grow a lot faster. Look at these tomatoes here. They are just huge compared to when we left them, and are frankly too big to really try and do grafting, which is what we were going to do. I did decide to try and save some of them. I'm gonna move them over into a bigger container here, fill it up with some compost and with this broken down bark mulch. Okay, so we got these transplanted over into this larger bin, and I've got their little tags. I really need to get better tags. I'm off the Seedtime Store, but here we go. We've got a supernova plant here, Hartman's yellow gooseberry, Testlands, race currant, Arkansas. Got a bunch of ox hearts down over here as well. Abraham Lincoln. All right, so we'll see how these little guys do. We're going to be moving these, which are the rootstocks, to the compost pile for now, because we don't need those. The peppers, on the other hand, are just looking fantastic. And so we're leaving them in the trays. We're gonna be putting them back under the lights and letting them continue to grow. But then came the moment that I was waiting for, and that was to lift up the cover. So we are back at the garden, and as you can see, it's been covered, protected in the storms with this beautiful row cover that has protected it from washing away, and I can't wait to see what it looks like underneath. Here goes. Ah, look at our plants. Wow. Okay, let's take a quick tour. It looks like our transplants are doing okay, although some of them, we're seeing some damage on these leaves. Look at this. I think these plants are going to be okay still. Just need to get them nourished back to life. And we lost one kill plant. We can replace that. Our Swiss chard here, lettuce, looks like it's doing pretty good. And look at this baby lettuce underneath our netting here. You can see the start of our little Hakurai turnips coming up here. Our beets are just barely coming up out of the ground. Check these out. We're seeing the very beginning of some carrots. If we come down here, you can see, well, there was some dill and cilantro, and this is more baby lettuce. Our peas are coming up beautifully, and our radishes here. You know, this little burning on their leaves, I'm wondering if having that row cover right over top of them ended up burning their leaves a little bit, if it got a little bit too hot. And then our baby greens up here, but you can see some of them also burnt off. So we're gonna have to see how these do. So I wanna talk really quickly about the little burning that you've seen on our leaves in the garden here. And some people may look at that and be like, man, they looks like they got sunburned. probably not. So as I was talking with my dad, I found out that it did freeze while we were gone. And this is something that can happen if your frost cloth is actually down and touching the leaves of the plant themselves. We've seen this happen on the farm when we were growing for market. If the frost cloth was actually touching the leaves, it can freeze burn your leaves. They look burned, but it's actually because of a freeze. And so I was doing a little research to look into like the actual scientific aspect behind it. And from the best that I can tell, it is because there is a process of conduction of temperature that if the frost cloth is directly touching the leaf, it can actually conduct the cold directly into the plant tissue, actually damaging the tissues of the plant. Whereas if there is a space, and so usually we would want to lift up the frost cloth, we'd put some hoops under it that have a little bit of an air gap. And if there's some space there, it acts as a buffer, an insulation zone. But even so, the leaves themselves might get frosted, but still not have that conduction of the deeper cold directly down into the plant tissue. So we already kind of knew that this could happen with frost cloths just from our previous experience, and for some reason we did not lift it up off of the plants when we should have. I wasn't even really thinking about the frost, to be honest. I was more thinking about the storms and the rain, but just wanted to give you a little insight into what was probably going on there and why we had a little bit of burning on our plants. We did lose one lettuce here, and it looks like it may be cutworm damage is what my dad is thinking. Cutworms come along and they just eat off the bottom of your crop, your leaves fall over, and boom, they're gone. Your plant is dead. There's good news here and there's bad news. We have good germination on some and not as good germination on others, and part of that is that pretty much all of this seed is old seed that we had on hand and that I'm just trying to use up. So the truth is, I really should be buying new seed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into the Seedtime store, look at the crops that we have coming up, and make sure to buy some seed there. I actually did already buy some seeds for crops that we're gonna be planting here, but I need to get more. And now I wanna take a quick second to congratulate Cheryl Anderson for winning our giveaway from last week's video. So congratulations, Cheryl. You have won a Redmond soil test kit. This is gonna be awesome for your garden. You're gonna be able to go out there, test your soil, check out the ballpark of where you are right now and be able to amend it to really get your soil up to better levels for this season. So I am gonna drop a comment down below yours to let you know how you can get and claim your win there. And for everyone else that is watching, we do a giveaway every single week. In fact, the giveaway for this video this week is going to be $25 of free seeds in the Seedtime store. Hey, who doesn't want free seeds for their garden, right? You could get any of the quick growing crops that you can grow in 30 days or less. You could grab your own radish seeds, lettuce seeds, baby greens, all kinds of seeds there in the Seedtime store. So drop a comment down below and let me know which crop is your favorite crop that grows really, really fast. Or just comment on anything in this video and we will do a random draw and someone's gonna win $25 worth of free seeds. Can't wait. Another thing that happened this week is that my dad, while we were away, he came in and he seeded some radishes into the garden, and so I get to mark that off in our Seedtime calendar. And here's how I'm gonna do that in the past, because right now, today is April the 11th, and if I marked it off as complete right now, it would mark it off as complete on the 11th. But my dad actually seeded it earlier. He said he thought he did it on Wednesday. I'm gonna select the 9th, which is Wednesday. I'm gonna click apply. That's gonna change the date up at the top of the task list there. And now if I mark direct seeded as complete, it's gonna mark it off on the 9th. So if I come over to the calendar, it will now have them marked off as seeded on the 9th, on the day that they actually happened. And that's how we can keep records in Seedtime and make sure that they're accurate to the days that they actually happened on. And one more cool thing that my dad got and set up while we were gone away on this trip is a motion activated sprinkler, because we do not want the dogs and cats getting in this garden bed. So I'm gonna take you over and show you how the motion activated sprinkler works, I think it's pretty cool, and you might be able to find it helpful in your garden as well. If you want to keep cats out or dogs out or really any animal out of your garden, this is a pretty cool solution. All right, here is the motion activated sprinkler. Check this out. It is solar powered. So all you gotta do is plug it into the hose here and set the settings. There's a little knob down at the bottom here. I'm gonna set the settings on the sprinkler head itself for how far it shoots. So you wanna see how it shoots in this garden? Yeah. We stick it on the corner here. So it's just going to do a quarter of a circle here just to cover this garden. So this little knob at the bottom, numbers, this is on number 1, number 2, and those are the sensitivity settings for it, number 3 and number 4. And then if I turn it on number 5, it's going to be on all the time. Whoa! Do you think a cat would want to get in there? I'm gonna turn it back down to number 3. All right, run so fast, just right down the aisle. No? You want me to do it? Okay. Okay, so are you ready for 5 of the top crops that you can grow in 30 days or less in your garden? Not only are they quick wins, but also they really help to fill in gaps in your garden plan. So if you have a little space in between your crops and you want to grow something quick, these are awesome crops to fill that in. Here we go. Crop number 5 is baby spinach. Baby spinach can be ready in as little as 25 to 30 days. You can seed it in a pretty thick little row. If you're just wanting to harvest it at the baby stage, let it all come up and grow, and then you can come up and cut off those baby leaves and eat them. They're great for salads. It's a really quick and fast win in your garden. Number 4 is pea shoots, and these are so tasty. What you're gonna do is you're just going to seed your peas in a line in your garden, and I would sow them in really thickly. And here's an extra little bonus tip. In fact, we're gonna do it in this garden, because you let them grow 14 to 21 days about, they should be ready to harvest, and you can come in and you're gonna wanna thin your peas, at least if you've seeded them thickly, down to the spacing that you want for your final pea plants. And so those little thinnings are pea shoots that you can go put in your salad. They are so good. We're gonna actually show you that process of thinning them out and how you can use those little pea shoots to eat. And they're so tasty. All right, number 3 is baby arugula. Some people love it, some people hate it, but there are some varieties of baby arugula that don't have as strong of a spicy arugula taste. They might have a little bit more of a nutty arugula taste. In fact, we have some growing in this garden as well, baby arugula. So you're gonna seed those in a thick little row in your, or multiple rows in your garden bed, and then within 21 to 30 days, they are gonna also be ready to harvest, and you just harvest them off as a baby green, and if the weather's cool enough, you can actually let them regrow. Same with the baby spinach and a lot of baby greens, they could regrow and you can have multiple harvests off of them. Now, number 2 is baby lettuce. Who does not love baby lettuce? Especially a salad filled with baby lettuce is so soft. And baby lettuce is ready to harvest in 25 to 30 days as well. So you just seed them in just like the baby, other baby greens like the baby arugula, baby spinach, put them in some thick rows. We've got some growing in this garden. And then you come in and you cut them off. They can regrow as well. You can have multiple harvests off of them, and they are a fast win and so tasty. And that brings us to number 1, which is perhaps probably the best well-known crop that grows so fast and goes along with your lettuce, and that is radishes. Radishes are a very quick crop. Again, 25 to 30 days, they're about ready to harvest. And you can come in, you can harvest, you can thin them as they are growing as well. So you can get little baby radishes, and then as the other radishes grow bigger, you can harvest the larger radishes. And you can really get a great crop of radishes that are awesome for cutting up and using in your salads with your baby greens. So you can grow a really fast salad garden if you want to. So that wraps up our update for this week. Thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to drop down, subscribe to this channel, hit that bell icon to get notified as we go along through this whole season. We're gonna be tracking this garden and seeing how much food we can grow. In fact, we're gonna compare the crops that are coming out of this to prices in the local grocery stores. We're gonna keep track of the total dollar value, and you get to guess it. One more quick reminder, go down, drop it into the description, put in your guess of how much you think that we're gonna be able to grow dollar value wise, and whoever gets the closest is gonna win the big Great Garden giveaway. So go do that. If you haven't already, share this with your friends, and I can't wait to see you again next week.